I'm Margie Remmers-Davis, founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education, and this is our weekly live stream that we hold inside our free Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room. This is the locker room. This is our live stream that we hold every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern right here inside the locker room. The locker room is your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. That is all we do. Hands-on practice, hands-on practice. We believe in learning by doing. And so we offer a free QBO QuickStart course. So if you are a member of the locker room, you automatically get this course that teaches you how to set up your free QuickBooks Online accountant account, how to access the sample company, which is where we do most of our practice, terminology and navigation, workflows, like just kind of the basics to get your feet wet, get you oriented, and of course hands-on exercises, because that's what we do, hands-on exercises to like reinforce your learning so you're actually doing it. So if you are in the locker room and you, oops, what did I do? There we go. If you're in the locker room and you don't have your QuickStart course, you don't know how to access it, it was emailed to you when you first joined the locker room. That's why we ask for your email address so we can get you your course. But if for some reason you can't find it, you can't find the emails, maybe it's a typo, like maybe it's blocked or whatever. There's all sorts of reasons why you wouldn't have gotten it, but you get it as a member of the locker room. So just write to us at support@acadian.com. That's AKADIAN. We'll take a look at your account and see what is going on. Make sure, because we want you to have that free course. Also, in the locker room, you have access to over 100 free exercises. So in addition to the ones that come with the QuickStart course, there's the library just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like, I remember when I was doing this call, like, we got to get over 100. I want to be able to say over 100. But now, like, wouldn't it be cool if I could say hundreds of? There are so many exercises that we give you for free. People are always they're always asking how to find them. Of course, they were emailed to you too. We sent you a big welcome email with like all of your information and stuff too. But they are available here inside the group in the featured section, which is usually pinned here at the top. There's this welcome message, over 100 free hands-on exercises. You can access them there. Also, as a member of the, oh, hi, Kate. Okay. Also, as a member of the locker room, you get to participate in this free live stream. So if you're watching the recording on YouTube, you get the recording on YouTube, but the only way to get your free exercises is to join us in the locker room. And the only way to be on the call live is to join us in the locker room. So come be part of our Acadian family, and we want to all learn together. All right. So in addition to all of that, you get a free exercise of the week. This is one of the reasons our library just keeps getting bigger and bigger, is because we get this free exercise of the week. You get it by attending the live stream live, but it is also a feature of our paid product. So everything I've talked about so far is free, but we also have a paid product. It's still branded to Fast and Easy QBO, which is our former name, but called the QBO Gym. The difference between the QBO Gym and the free exercises is the free exercises are just learning a particular feature. They're just like one-off, kind of like by themselves. The QBO Gym is an immersive experience of being a bookkeeper. It is your opportunity. If you ever said to yourself, oh, I wish I could just shadow somebody and see what it's like. I wish I could get an internship to be a bookkeeper. I just really I don't really understand what the job is. Maybe you got certified, but you don't really know what you're supposed to do on a daily basis. That's that's why we built the QBO Gym. You get a full year of working with our fictitious business owner, as all sorts of things happen to the business owner throughout the year, and you have to be the bookkeeper and you learn how to record them. It doesn't take a full calendar year to get through it. It only takes about 3 to 4 hours per month, which equals to about 42 real-time hours that you can get a full year's worth of experience. We'll give you a certificate at the end that says you have a year's worth of experience. And you can also move on to year 2. It's totally included. It's not even extra price to move on to year 2. Give you a certificate at the end of year 2, and so you can really get experience under your belt. So the reason I was late, besides the technical difficulties, is because we just started last month a brand new thing where everyone who earns a badge in the gym. So by the way, I forgot to say, the gym is all gamified. My vision for it was Duolingo for bookkeepers. But as you're working through it, there's points and bells and whistles. You can see you earn points for different things, and you earn badges. And so we decided we started it last month, that everyone who earns a badge has an opportunity to be entered in our monthly drawing. And you get, if you're the winner of the drawing, then you get, I should make it so I'm not so little here. If you're the winner of the drawing, then we will refund your month subscription, whatever you're paying that month in the gym, then we will refund you for that month if you're the winning. So it's not everybody that gets a badge. So the way that it works is, if you got a badge, then we posted in the group and we said, tell us an aha, tell us something you learned, tell us something you loved in that month to earn the badge. And so we got a ton of those, and I love them so much. Okay, I'm going to read a couple. I should have just starred the ones that I wanted to read, but let's see. Okay, so here's our November. The year starts in February. It runs February through January. So, and again, that's not calendar months. It's just, it was initially conceived of being like a magazine, so we call it an issue. But we got away from that. Okay, so let's see some of these. It starts in February, so most people earn their badges for February right away. All right, so, and Joel, if you want to go ahead and put the link for the gym, so if people want to check it out, that'd be great. Let's see. Stacy says, working through the exercises in the QBO gym locker, well, she said locker room, but she meant gym, has been excellent so far, very engaging. I like the videos that play before each section. It feels like I'm following along with the client and meeting their bookkeeping needs. I especially learned from the section on creating POs and progress invoices from estimates. Brenda says, I'm really learning my way around QBO. I love the notes and guides that tell us why something is done a certain way. That helps us to better understand what we're doing. Michelle says, I love learning new things in the gym. I like how it keeps going over things and again, so it really sinks in. Where was the one I saw earlier? Melissa says, this course has really helped me put it all together. Things are really starting to make sense. My biggest aha moment was learning how to set up Slice payments. Slice is our, in the June issue, it's our payment processor, like similar to like Stripe, but we call it Slice. Morris says the hands-on exercises are so fun that I don't want to stop. I really learned a lot about setting up delayed charges. I have never used this feature in QBO. The lessons enabled me to master that. Stacy says I gained clarity and confidence in working through the practice exercises. Let's see. I love I can get confidence in the gym before I use it on a client. It was great to get more practice in journal entries. All right, so that's just a taste. Oh my gosh, I love that we started doing this. And because I love to hear like what people are learning and what the ahas are and everything. So let's go ahead and do our drawing. So these are all of the names. These are all of the people that earned a badge and told us an aha moment or something that they loved. There are 29 entries, and you can get entered in there twice. And the reason that might happen is you leave a comment both times. If you earn multiple badges, remember I said it's not real time. It is, it's just, you can get through an issue of the gym in 3 to 4 hours. So that's how you get multiple times. All right. So I said last month that I would do one drawing for every 25 entries. So does that mean that I have to have 50 entries to do it twice? Or does it mean if I have more than 25 entries, I do it twice? I think it's the latter. I think that I have up to 25, I'll do one drawing, and then up to 50, I do another drawing, and then I'm not seeing any comments in the chat. I wonder if I have a setting. That one time a couple weeks ago, like my chat wasn't connected. I had to keep refreshing. Let me just take off here and go back to where? Here. Yeah. Catherine says, can you see me now? I don't know why these aren't showing. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So Barbara says, I would think one for 25 and then one for each additional 25. Yeah, but do I have to get to 50? Or is it one additional, like that's over 25? I think I'm the boss. So I'm just going to say that it's, I'm the boss. So I'm just going to say that it is over for every 25 and then it like over. So we have 29. So I'm going to do it twice. Okay. All right. Let's see who our winner is this month. Okay, here we go. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone's favorite part. Woohoo. And you don't have to be present to win. We'll let you know if you won. Okay. All right. Next person is Brenda. Woohoo. All right. I don't have a pen in here for some reason. So Joel, if you could write that down. Brenda Jeter. So whatever you're paying for the gym, we're going to refund you a month of that. Okay. All right, let's do one more time. We're going to remove Brenda, but only one time because she got multiple entries. So, okay, here we go. Second one. Woohoo! Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, Stephanie! Woohoo! All righty. So we will do that again in January. I know Caitlin's going to change up how we collect them a little bit for next month, but yeah, woohoo! So Joel, write down Brenda and Stephanie so that we can reach out to them and get them their prize winnings. Okay. All right, let's get into our exercise of the week, shall we? So, as I mentioned, so the exercise of the week is a feature of the gym. Everything that you do in the gym is tracked in our proprietary database called Booksmatch. And William is our top guy today. We're going to highlight William. And so everything that you do is calculated right here. So so all of the skills that William has verified as he's worked through the gym are right here. They're divided into skill groups. So you could click on anything and see what exactly you did to earn that skill. You can see how you compare to everyone else in the pool. So the dark one is you, and then the light one is everybody, the average of everybody else. We created this so that we could show you off to the world. We wanted other people who are searching for bookkeepers, whether that is people who have job openings, whether it's accounting firms looking to fill their staff or send referrals, or whether it is business owners looking for people. We wanted to be able to show you off. And so we keep track of three specific metrics, and they are knowledge, consistency, and speed. Knowledge is the breadth of work that you've done, and speed is not how quickly you get an individual exercise done, but how many exercises you're able to, or how many skills you're able to accumulate in just a week. And then we also keep track of consistency. We want to make sure that you are working in the gym at least every other week. So this is 14 days. So based on all of this, we give you a rank. And then inside, when you are a member of the gym, you have there's a little share button where you can share your page, share your stats with people. So anyway, that's the Booksmatch. Now, in order to keep your consistency high, you have to do an exercise at least every other week. And for some people, if they've done all of the exercises that are available, and so because they've done all of the exercises available, that's why we are always adding one extra week or one extra exercise every week, just so that you can keep that consistency high. But the added benefit of that is when you're on this call, you get to do it with us. You get to do the exercise of the week. Now, the exercise of the week is a separate course that is unlocked when you have earned 250 points in the gym. So if you have the gym and you don't have the exercise of the week yet, that would be why, is because you haven't unlocked it yet, which is fine. You can just join us here, and when you get 250 points, it'll be unlocked and you can go back and do it. So if you are here live, you're going to get this exercise whether you have the subscription or not. That's a benefit of being, and just a benefit of being in the locker room and being here with us live. If you have a subscription to the gym, however, and you have unlocked the exercise of the week, you have to make sure and use this link in here. You have to use this link in here, not the one that Joel is going to post in the chat, okay? The one in the chat is just for the people that don't have the gym and aren't tracking in Booksmatch. The only one that tracks in Booksmatch is the one here. All right, so let's get started and do this exercise. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I mentioned in my post this morning that I'm so grateful that I can now be fully out as Acadian, because when we were doing these as Fast and Easy QBO, like I knew that Acadian was coming. And I knew that the reason we were doing things the way we were was because Acadian was coming, but I couldn't talk about it. So now here we are. So you're going to notice from now on that, and you got a little bit of a hint of it, is we are, like, our mission is to build a better bookkeeper. We talked to, let me just take this off. Let me just talk, okay. We talked to in the pursuit of Booksmatch, because we wanted to show you guys off to people, we started talking to hundreds of accountants, CPAs, tax preparers. And because we were saying, hey, look, we've got all these bookkeepers and they really know QBO and they're amazing. And they said, well, but that's not what we want. What we want is a bookkeeper who really knows accounting and bookkeeping, who really knows under the hood how things work, who are tax aware, who are a higher level than somebody who just randomly, categorizes things. So that's why we have spent, I don't know, the last month, I've been really hammering in those debits and credits, and we're going to continue to do that, because here at Acadian, we are building a better bookkeeper. We want you, we are setting the bar high. We want you to rise up and be the best bookkeeper you can be. In conjunction with that, we are launching in January, we're launching a program called the Bookkeeping Accelerator, which is going to teach you bookkeeping. Up until that, this is one of the key reasons we changed our name, is up until that now, we've just been teaching QuickBooks Online. Now we're going deeper and we're teaching bookkeeping and accounting principles. So we want you to know so yes, we're going to still teach QuickBooks Online, but we want you to know at a really deep level why things work the way they work. And we're going to be spending time on this call doing that. So the Bookkeeping Accelerator, we have a wait list available now. Joel, if you want to post that in the chat, you're going to get a little sneak peek today. But really, we are that's why we're doing this. That's why we're focusing on this. That's why we're going at a deep level on these things. Oh, Stephanie says, oh, great. I got to put this up on the screen. This is awesome. Stephanie says, I am finally understanding debits and credits because of the last few Friday lives. Woohoo! We're going to do it again. And I am loving the YouTube pop quizzes. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we're now publishing daily, almost daily. You can get these little pop quizzes that we're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reel. I don't know all these things. I have somebody that does that does this. But so all of that, and then plus in the weekly newsletter, you can have there's those little pop quizzes, but then in our weekly newsletter, there's always a question of the week, and you can go click it, answer it, check yourself, learn a little thing. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, Stephanie. I'm glad that that's helping. Okay, let's dive in. So our exercise today, Joel has already put it in the chat, is we're going to be understanding this deposit to account. Okay, so if you either use the link from the chat that Joel has given you, or go into your account and pull up the exercise of the week if you need the credit. Okay, so we're talking about the deposit to account. So here's our scenario. Craig is sure that he recorded a sales receipt, but when he looks in the check register, the money's not there. Can you help him figure out what happened? So we're going to do a little bit of troubleshooting for Craig. And to do that, we have to understand how the sales receipts work, and how and we're going to talk about like how it all ties in to the reports. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is load up the sample company. And I forgot to sign into the sample company here, which is fine. Here's another cool thing, guys. This is exclusive for those of you guys who are here. We just figured out, this is brand new, hot off the presses. We figured out how to load an accountant version of the sample company without going through your accountant account. Oh, what? If you look at all of our exercises, all of our exercises talk about start in the sample company, click the gear icon, click sample company, you'll get logged out, all of that stuff. We figured out a quick way. You ready? If you go to acadian.com/QBOA, watch this. Well, you have to say you're not a robot. And bum, 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 we're in the sample company. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So it will still log you out of your QBOA account. But how many steps? I mean, like, isn't that amazing to eliminate so many steps? Yes. Okay, so here we are in the sample company. Let's go back to our exercise. All right, so we're ready. Now that we have that, we're gonna go back to the exercise. So first, we're gonna see what happens when you record a sales receipt, okay? So now here I have, oh my gosh, guys, why am I not seeing this? What happened to my guide me? What happened to my guide me button? Hold on, everything. I shouldn't have to sign in. Oh my gosh. You know, we love Scribe. All of our exercises are in Scribe. We love Scribe. But for some reason, those of you guys who know what's supposed to happen here, is it happening for you? Or is it, do I have to sign? I don't think I have to sign in. You guys, it should work for you guys. All right, let me just see what happens when I sign in. Okay, so now I'm gonna close this. Barbara says she didn't have to sign in. Okay, good. But Barbara, are you getting the little, let me refresh this. Are you getting the guide me button? Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. I don't know what happened. I was able to use the guide me button, did not have to sign in. All right, I don't know what happened to me just now, but all right, so you shouldn't have to sign in. You just need the Scribe extension. And this is a Google Chrome extension, so it only works with Google Chrome, but it's called Scribe. And if you load this extension, what's supposed to happen is that the little guide me button shows up. And if you have the sample company open at the same time, you can click the guide me. You'll have to confirm. And then boom, you can have the sample company and the exercise open at the same time. So pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to see what happens when you record a sales receipt. Okay, so we're going to click plus new and then click sales receipt. This is the same, by the way, for an invoice, but the invoice has extra steps, and so I wanted to just go straight to the sales receipt. Okay, so we're going to say that our customer is Cool Cars. All right. Now, once you have selected the customer information, you can turn your attention to recording the payment. We'll say that Cool Cars paid with check number 456. So right here under payment information, we're going to select check. And we're going to say the reference number is 456. Okay. All right. So the deposit to is what we're talking about right here. Okay. So let's see. The next item to indicate is the deposit to field. This is where you indicate which account the money was deposited to. So let's just back up for those of you who are new and remind you that a sales receipt is payment at the time of the sale. It's different than an invoice. An invoice is two steps. An invoice is you send out an invoice, a period of time goes by, and then they pay it. Okay? You guys all know that in your life, there are certain things that you pay for right then. You go to the grocery store, you pay for the groceries right then, and there are other things that you get an invoice for and you pay later. Okay? So the same is true in QBO. So the sales receipt is the one that is payment at the time of the sale. So Craig just sold something and he got money for it. Now the question is, what am I going to do with that money? Okay. So the default is undeposited funds. Okay. So we're just going to leave that as undeposited funds and see what happens. Okay. We'll say that Cool Cars paid, I'm here now. We'll say that Cool Cars paid for $75 worth of gardening service. Okay. So we're going to, under product and service, we're going to type weekly gardening service. Okay. And then we're going to say that it was $75. Okay. All right. Now we want to stay on this screen. So instead of clicking save and close like we usually do, we're going to click the black save button. Okay. So now it says it's been saved. So now we're going to look at the details of this transaction. Before we do, we need to have our little debits and credits lesson. So let's go over that now. This is going to be this is your life now. We're raising the bar. You guys have to know this, okay? So we're going to go over this every week. Okay, so let's talk about debits and credits. Whenever you record something, you must record an equal amount on the other side. That's not a good introduction. I just wrote that briefly right before I stepped into the studio. I'm going to have to reword that because that doesn't make sense. Okay. What we are going to talk about is the balanced books. Okay. So some people like to think when we talk about books being in balance, then some people think of like a scale. I like to think of it as a seesaw. Okay. You guys have all been burned on a seesaw if you're my age, and they had seesaws back then. So you were on a seesaw, somebody got off, and whoop, you went to the bottom, right? You have to have an equal weight. So on a seesaw, you have one thing, and in order for it to be balanced, you have to add weight to the other side, okay? So now's when I should have my little slide that says when you're recording transactions, you have to record both. We have to record on both sides in order for it to remain in balance. Okay. Now, in order to understand how this works, you first need to understand the natural balance of accounts, which means which sides are automatically on the left and which things are automatically on the right. And what we're talking about here is where they start. Okay, so let's talk about natural balance. Again, we're talking about which things are on the right, which things are on the left. Okay, so there's two things that that we think about when we do accounting. The first is where the money came from. Okay, and then guess what? Where the money goes. Okay, that's accounting right there. So you're recording where the money came from and where the money went, or in other words, the destination. Okay, when we're talking about where money came from, it's called a credit. Where we're talking about the destination, it's called the debit. Now, again, remember when I say come from and destination, I'm just talking about the natural balance. Like, this is how you decide where it starts, okay? So where does money come from? Well, there's really only three places. One is revenue, okay? So that means your customers pay you money. That's the income that you're getting from your customers. So that's revenue. The other place is equity. That's the owners. The owners of the business might contribute money to the business. And then the third is you might get a loan or a credit card. So you're getting money from a third party. That's called a liability. Okay, so these are the three main places that money comes from. So where does the money go once you get it? Well, there's three main places that the money goes. The first are assets. Assets are things that you own, and this could be a money in a bank account, or it could be like equipment or furniture or a vehicle. Okay, so it's stuff that you own. Those are assets. The next place it might go to is it might go out the door to somebody else for so as an expense. Okay, there's expenses of the business. It's going to a vendor. And then the third place is, where is it going to go? Well, it's going to go back to the owners as either a distribution or a dividend. So that you'll notice that it spells dealer, and this is a good way to kind of remember what goes where, because it's important for you to know where it starts in order for us to understand the next piece, which is how to record the movement of the money. Okay. All right. Before I leave this screen, I'm just going to show you one quick thing, and my head's going to cover it up, but hopefully you can figure it out because I can't move my head when I'm in presentation mode. And that is, you'll notice that on each side, we have similar things. So on the right side, we have equity, which is the owner's contribution. And then we have distributions and dividends, which is also the owners. Okay, so those two are kind of connected. Also, I mentioned that assets are a bank or like a thing that you own, but assets come from, like if it's a checking account, for example, or a savings account, okay, that's held by an institution. And liabilities, which are loans, credit cards, etc., those are also held by institutions, okay? So that's kind of another way that those are connected. And then the last one we're going to talk about today is revenue, which comes from customers, and expenses is what we pay to vendors. And so you can see that those are kind of connected. So that's just kind of like a cool thing to kind of wrap your head around. Okay. All right. Next, we need to talk about how the money moves. Okay. So when we talk about natural balance, we're talking about where it starts. And then I see that I did not take this off. It's not where they start, it's where they move to, okay? So when money moves, when you hear that there is a debit, that always means it's moving to the left. And when you hear credit, it always means it's moving to the right. But this can get confusing because we use the terms debit and credit in our brain from like real life differently than accounting, than they use these terms in accounting. Okay, so here's why we have this kind of weird terminology. And then if you can wrap your head around this, like Stephanie said earlier, like she finally gets it, if you can wrap your head around this, then you're golden when it comes to debits and credits in accounting. Okay, so I want you to think back to when you were in, I don't know, I think we decided like 7th grade or something is when you learned how to plot numbers on a graph. Okay, when you plot numbers on a graph, you have a line up and down and you have a line across, and in the middle where they meet is 0. Okay, so you have 0. And when you have positive number, when you're plotting positive numbers on a graph, they always go to the right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they're going to the right. Okay, so on the right hand side, when numbers increase, they're moving to the right. Okay, and when you're on the right hand side, if the number decreases, which direction it's going closer to 0. So it's decreasing, it's moving to the left. Okay, now all that's great when we're talking about positive numbers, but when we're talking about negative numbers, that's when it screws with our heads a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about negative numbers. Work differently. Okay, so when a negative number increases, and by increasing I mean it increases its negativeness. Okay, it moves to the left. It moves to the left when it increases its negativeness. Okay, so increasing to the left. Okay, well, what about when it decreases? When it decreases, it's no longer as negative as it was before, right? It's when you have a number when you have -10 and now you only have -6, okay? So the negativeness of it is decreasing. It's moving to the right, okay? All right, so let's go back to our, I can't see you. Where'd you go? Got too many things open. Okay. All right. So now we're back at our sales receipt. Jenny says, this finally made it click. Yay! Excellent. All right. So glad to hear it. Okay. So now let's look at our sales receipt. So what just happened? Okay. What should we expect to see as the details of this transaction? Okay, so where did money move? Okay, well, the first thing is we put this money, at least the sales receipt is saying that the money was deposited to undeposited funds. Okay, so undeposited funds increased. Okay, and undeposited funds is what kind of an account? Dun, dun, dun. What kind of, I'll give you a minute to, there's always a delay when I say something, when I see it in the chat. What kind of an account is undeposited funds? Excellent. Uyi. Oh yes, Judy, Lisa, excellent. It's an asset account. It's an asset account. Okay. So the asset account, do we have more money in this asset account or do we have less money in this asset account? Do we have more money in the asset account? Right, Lisa, good job. We have more money in the asset account. And when you increase an asset account, what side is it on? What direction is it? When you increase debit. Excellent. Good job, Kelly. All right. So we should expect to see that undeposited funds is going to be debited $75. And now we have this income account, which is whatever income account is tied to this service. It's an income account. So what side is an income account? The income account is on which side? It's tricky because I'm using the word income, and in the little chart, we use the word revenue just because we want that dealer acronym. But it's on the right-hand side, okay? So we should expect to see, when we look at this under the covers, we should expect to see a debit of $75 to undeposited funds and a credit to whatever income account this is tied to for $75. Let's see. Now I'm nervous because it's live. What if we got it wrong? What if I've been talking about this whole thing wrong the whole time? Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. I'm just going to close this a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, so here is the transaction journal. This is what happens underneath the hood. Okay, so what just happened? $75 was debited. This is why it's so it gets your brain, because you think debited means less money, right? It just means that it was on the left-hand side. Okay. So here we see the money went to undeposited funds, and then we increased our income by $75. Okay, now, undeposited funds is an asset account. So what report should we be able to see this on? Yay, yes, we did it, we got it. So what report should we be able to see undeposited funds listed on? The balance sheet. Excellent. Good job. So let's take a look at the balance sheet. Of course, if you're looking in the exercise, you get the answer right there. So we're going to open this back up. I'm going to go to reports. I guess I could click back to reports. I don't know. Reports. And then we're going to go to the balance sheet. Okay, so as we expected, the undeposited funds account is listed on the balance sheet under assets, okay? And we can click this number right here to see what makes up this number, okay? So I'm going to click that number. All right, that was step 14 here. I'm going to close it again so we can see better. Okay. So this is a list of all of the money in and money out of this particular account during the period specified for the balance sheet. Okay. So when we ran the balance sheet, the default was year to date. So these are all of the transactions that have gone into and out of undeposited funds so far this year, and you can see here is our Cool Cars sales receipt right at the bottom. Well, how can you tell which ones have yet to be deposited? Okay, this is the undeposited funds account. So you would think, oh, well, this just has all of the undeposited funds, right? But it's kind of in some ways it's a misnomer, because some of these actually have been deposited because we pulled them out. So how are we going to know? How are we going to check to find out which ones actually still need to be deposited? I'll give you a sec to answer. How do you know? How can you filter this so you're actually seeing only the ones that still need to be deposited? Did I stump you? We're quiet in the chat. Quiet in the chat. How do we know which of these? Go to bank feed and check it. No, the bank feed's not going to tell us. Put the dates in the top. Nope, that's not going to tell us either. Because if I change the dates, it's just going to be like, I still don't know which ones, which ones. All right, Lynn got it. Yes, Lynn got it. We're going to create a bank deposit. If I go to plus new and create bank deposit, boom, here are all of the ones that are, yes, everyone, people are getting it now. Yep, Jody, Stephanie, yep, good job. So now if I just do a bank deposit, this will tell me which ones have not actually been deposited yet. All right, you guys got it. All right, but remember our scenario. Craig said he did deposit it. Craig said, I deposited it, but I'm not seeing it in my check register. Well, he said, I created the sales receipt, but I'm not seeing the money in my check register, which would make us think that he thought he had actually deposited it, okay? So this is saying it's undeposited. The reason it's saying it's undeposited is because on that sales receipt, we said it was undeposited, okay? But let's go back and read our exercise, okay? We did the bank feed, okay. Okay, so Craig told you, however, that he did deposit that check from Cool Cars. He used the mobile deposit on his phone, okay? This is a simple correction. All you need to do is change the deposit to on the sales receipt, okay? So let's do that. We're going to leave the deposit transaction here. Here we are back on our transaction report. We're going to go to the number. Okay. And now under here, the whole reason that it was in undeposited funds is because the sales receipt said it was undeposited funds. That's why it showed up. That's why it showed up in the balance sheet on undeposited funds. That's why it showed up when we did a bank deposit on undeposited funds. It's because the sales receipt says that. So we're going to change this to checking, because he did a mobile deposit. He got it. He deposited it right then. Undeposited funds is a holding place for when you're going to go to the bank later. Okay, it's like your envelope or your desk drawer, right? Wherever you hold on to your cash and checks, wherever you're going to hold on to that cash and checks, that's all going to accumulate all the undeposited funds. Okay, but if you get a check and you immediately deposit it, it's not going into an envelope, it's not going into a drawer, you're like, oh, boop, then you can say on the sales receipt, it's going to checking, okay? So now if we change this, we're gonna click save, the black save button again. What should we expect to see on the transaction? We should expect to see that the undeposited funds, which we saw previously as a debit for $75, has been replaced with checking in the same spot. So checking, debit. Okay, let's check. So I click save, the black save button. I click more, go to transaction journal. And boom. Now earlier when I did this today, it didn't change, and so I had to click this refresh report button. For right now, this time it did. So that's why I have that in the exercise. Okay. All right. So now checking, and this is what breaks your brain, right? Is because it says debit checking $75 or $75. And you're like, no, I just put $75 in my checking. That's not a debit, that's a credit, right? Because that's like our normal person way of thinking. Whereas to an accountant, they say, no, it's debited $75, okay? So if now the amount is in the checking, now we should be able to see it on the balance sheet in the checking, right? Before we saw it with we saw this transaction listed in undeposited funds. Now if we go to the balance sheet and select checking, we should see it listed there instead. Let's try it out. Okay, we're gonna go, let's see, I don't want to get us lost off of okay. All right, so the payment from Cool Cars is still on the balance sheet, but now it's in a different place. Let's take a look, okay? So we're gonna go back to reports, click balance sheet. Okay, so now I'm going to click the checking row. And down at the bottom, there it is. Now it's listed in the checking. Now it's listed in the checking account. And remember, when you click on a number, it's all the list of transactions is determined by the dates. This is a thing that I got so confused. I was so confused about for so long. It's like a balance sheet is only one day in time. Why do I need to specify a range in QBO? The answer is because the range determines the list of transactions here. The balance sheet itself is only going to go by the last date. So I see a question here. Iris says, if a deposit is made, should new and make deposit be done for every deposit, as well as select the customer that sent that deposit? Let me finish this up and then go back to that because you're confused about something. Okay. So Brenda says it's a credit on the banking side. Yes, that is, there is a YouTube video out there that talks about why debits and credits, the terms are from the bank's perspective. I don't know if I buy that. I just like I like my explanation of the negative numbers and the positive numbers. I think that makes more sense. All right, so let's go back. So we're looking at the transaction report. This is our list of what's in that checking. And just like we saw before, the negative numbers and the positive numbers, like it's money coming in, money coming out, okay? Another way to look at this is with the check register, which is how we started this conversation. Because Craig said, it's not in my check register, okay? So how do you get to the check register? Well, you go to your chart of accounts. So I'm going to go to transactions, chart of accounts. Hello? I swear I did it. Transactions, chart of accounts. There we go. Okay. So here's my chart of accounts. Let me just close this so you can see better. Okay, checking, and then I'm going to click View Register. And if you're old school like me, I'm going to close the pop-ups. If you're old school like me, then you much prefer looking at it like this is a normal way to look at things. And it's the same information as we just saw, like money in, money out, all the details and all of that stuff. But to me, it's much more clear. And here we see that Cool Cars, it went straight to the check register because the sales receipt, deposit to, said check register. All right. So that is our exercise today. Let me go back and I'm going to close this and I'm going to open this back up and I'm going to go back to Iris's question. Okay. So Iris said, and I can only do this when I can't do this when I'm screen sharing. So Iris said, why isn't it showing up? Oh man, what happened? Okay. There we go. All right. Iris said, if a deposit is made, should new, and I think you're saying, should we click plus new and make the deposit be done for every deposit, as well as possibly the customer that sent the deposit? Okay. So you're confusing some principles. So let's first talk about the customer that sent the deposit. The customer does not send a deposit. The customer sends a payment. Okay, so a customer sends a payment for a particular invoice. Okay, so the first thing is when you get money from a customer, the first thing you do is you click plus new and you select receive payment. Okay, so here we'll just find, let's say Amy sent in $239. So I'm going to say she sent $239. Okay, and here on the receive payment, we also have a deposit too. So how did Amy pay this? Okay, well, if Amy paid it, say she paid it by check, and we'll say her check number was 789. Okay, so now we would expect to see this check living in undeposited funds. Let's check it out. So I'm going to hit save and close. Okay, so right then is the second part of your question. That's how it's indicated to the customer. You receive the payment, you apply it to an invoice. Okay, now I have a bunch of checks sitting in undeposited funds. Okay, I have that one from Amy. I have the one from Cool Cars that we did just a minute ago, and I have a couple others that are there. Oh, I guess I don't have Cool Cars because we changed it to checking. Okay, so now I'm going to deposit all of these at once. Okay, I'm going to deposit all of these in one fell swoop, and now my bank deposit, what's going to show up at the bank, is $2,301.52. Okay, so that question is, so I recommend that, so we have lots of exercises about doing that. So certainly we have you're always making deposits in the gym, so I would practice that. And we have free exercises that go over this whole process of receiving payment, and then it's the receive payment that is connected to the invoice, and then all of the checks in cash together in one lump sum go into the bank in a bank deposit. Okay. I've lost my cursor. Okay, there it is. Now I have to go over here. Okay, so that is Iris. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see what other questions. Yeah, talking about the bank. Took me forever to get it after I graduated with an accounting degree and started working at a bank. Okay. Ilma says, could you use the same solution if you were doing a cleanup and the money was sitting in undeposited funds? Well, you could, but it depends. I mean, what actually happened? You want to match, you have to, when you're doing a cleanup or when you're doing like bookkeeping in real life, you want to match the activity at the bank, okay? So if they, one at a time, did a mobile deposit, with your phone, they did a mobile deposit, then yes, you can go on the sales receipt or you can go on the receive payment and you can mark it as going to the checking account or whatever account, okay? If that's the number that matches on the bank statement, okay? But more often, what's on the bank statement is a lump sum. What's on the bank statement is a bunch of transactions that came in together. So, like you have $1,000 in the bank deposit, but it's actually $250 here and $500 here and $100 here and another $150, right? So that bank deposit is made up of multiple ones. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Tracy is asking, once we hit our 250 points, does it open up past weekly exercises for us as well? Yes, absolutely. Yep. They're all listed there. They're all listed there. Once you, because if you've been doing them through the live stream and you haven't been doing them in your account, then when you open it up, they'll all be there because you haven't gotten any credit for those. So once you do them, then I'm pretty sure we set them up so once you do them, they disappear. But you can always go back. Up at the top, there is a button that says past exercises right here, past exercises. So you can click that to see these are the ones that you've finished. If you haven't finished them yet, they'll still be in your list. But as soon as you do one, they'll disappear from your list and they'll be in the past exercises list. Actually, it says past exercises, but actually it's all exercises. Okay. So Dorada is saying, yes, I've done them through the live stream. So yeah, if you've done them through the live stream, you're not getting Booksmatch credit for them. So the only way to get Booksmatch credit is to do it from inside here. Okay. All right. So as well, it's perfect that I am on this screen because the next thing we need to talk about is the marketing prompt. So one of the things that comes with the QBO Gym, Iris is asking, is the QBO training closed in the gym until the update comes in? No. The gym training is not related to the certifications at all. So no, you can join the gym at any time. And you can also, I don't know if Joel put this in previously, but so you can learn, Joel put in the link to the gym where you can learn all about it. But then we also have a free 5-day challenge if you would like to just try it out and see if it's for you, or and get some points, get some try it out. Then we have a free 5-day challenge. So every day you get a set of exercises. It's unlocked to be able to see. So. Chris says, thank you for showing us the past exercises tab. You're welcome. I didn't realize people didn't know about it. That is there per Joel. I don't know what that means. All right. Okay. So I guess the gym challenge one is there. Okay. All right. So let's talk about marketing prompts. So I'm going to make myself big again. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay, Tracy, I love you. Okay. All right, so let's talk about marketing prompts. So we are not a marketing company. Like we don't teach marketing. We are an accounting education company. But we have so many people who who crave ways to be able to market their services. And one of the ways is to be on social media and talk. It's like talk about stuff on social media. And we just kept hearing from our students, "Oh, I know I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know what to say." Okay? And so I was like, "Well, you're learning stuff in the gym every single week, or every single month. There's a ton of stuff that you could talk about." So I decided we now include in the gym marketing prompts. Now in the regular gym, you have to earn these prompts. So as you're going through the exercises month by month and, section by section, you are learning, you're earning prompts because you can now talk about your expertise because now you know how to do something, right? Well, with the exercise of the week, we just give you a prompt with every exercise. So this is the prompt for this week. Now Teresa is saying, "I don't see past exercises in my gym." So it's not in the gym, it's in the exercise of the week, which is a separate course. Okay, so you need to be, and you only have this course if it is unlocked. So if you only have this course if you have earned at least 250 points. So if you've earned 250 points, the exercise of the week is unlocked, and that's the one that has past exercises up at the top. Okay? All right, so the prompt this week is, make it a little bigger. Okay. So you learned about the deposit to account. Here's a simple post, or sample. Here's a sample post. And we're now calling these QBO quick tips. I want you to position yourself as a QuickBooks Online expert. I feel like that is much better a positioning than bookkeeper. Because if you say that you're a bookkeeper, then people are only going to turn to you if they need help with bookkeeping, which most people don't think they need. But if you position yourself as an expert in a particular software, then I think you're more likely to get people to reach out to you because they need help with the software. And then you can transition that into potentially a client relationship. Okay. So we're now recommending that you call these QBO quick tips. And so here is the quick tip. Having a clean and organized chart of accounts in QuickBooks Online, that's not the quick tip. That is not the quick tip for today. My team needs to, hold on a second. I have to give my team a hard time because that's not the one for today. That's not even the one from last week. So I don't know how that got on there. All right, I'm fixing it right now, guys, before your very eyes. Well, not before your very eyes because my screen's, I'm not sharing my screen. But I'm going to go in the back door and put in the real one. I don't know how, that's not even last week's. So it's not like he could have, okay, give me a second. Okay. They're prepping for next week. No, it's not next week's even. It was like weeks ago. Okay, here we go. And it's there. Oh, yeah. So Joel has the right one. So the right one will be in the chat. Joel will put it in the chat. So the right one will be in the chat. And those of you who have the exercise of the week, you should just have to be able to refresh your screen and you'll get the new one. That's actually related to what we talked about today, which is the whole point. Okay. All right, here it is. What the heck? And there we go. All right. So you learned about the deposit to account. That is correct. But here's the QBO quick tip. It's amazing how one little mistake can have a trickle effect. If you don't use the correct deposit to account, you won't be able to select the transaction for deposit. You learned about that, right? In the undeposited funds list. Okay. If you don't select the transaction for deposit, it won't be able to match the bank feed. Okay? So if it's in the wrong group and you're doing the bank feed, you can't match it. And if it's not there to match in the bank feed, this is like if you give the mouse a cookie, right? You can get yourself in a whole host of trouble. Okay? We didn't go into the details today. We will at some future point about the trouble that they can get into because, if they don't know how to use undeposited funds correctly and they don't see the deposit there, like they frequently don't know how to match bank feeds and they just add, and then their money's all wrong because it's inflated. It looks like they have more money than they actually do. Okay? All right. I can help you sort this all out. Just say the word. Okay? All right. So that is today's, and Joel has put that in the chat. Thank you. Okay. So the question then becomes how do you use, we get so many questions of how do you use these marketing prompts, how do you get clients, etc. So we are launching in January. We've done this twice now, and we've had such great success, such great positive results that we're going to be starting our monthly Getting Clients cohort. Okay, so we have a group that's already started for December. We're going to have a new one starting in January. And I really wanted to have the link ready for you today, but we don't because we're making it super cool. Every time, this will be the third time we've done it, and every time we do it, it just gets a little better. So we're still building it out. I'd hope to have the link today. If for those of you who want to start in January, if those of you are okay, 2025 is my year, come January, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to build my business. I'm going to get clients. I'm going to finally do this thing. We'll have the Getting Clients cohort coming up in January. The price of it, you'll get discounts based on how prepared you are. And no matter what you pay, whatever you pay, it's guaranteed to land you a client conversation by the end of the month. Okay, so by January 31st, you will 100% talk to a prospective client. Okay, if you have, we want you to do a diagnostic review, whatever consultation. We teach you how to do the diagnostic review in the cleanup course. So if you have the cleanup course, that's one of the ways you'll get a discount on the Get Clients, by the way, is if you have the cleanup course. You'll get discounts based on how much of the gym you've completed. So if you have done a full year of the gym, then you'll get a greater discount on Getting Clients on the cohort. But then by January 31st, we can't control whether you get a client. Okay, you need to understand that. We cannot control whether you get a client because I don't know you. I don't know you, and we don't know the people that you're going to talk to, right? But we can absolutely 100% guarantee that you will have a conversation with a prospective client, with a potential client, or we'll give you your money back. Okay, so that's coming. And the bookkeeping accelerator is coming, and January, it's just going to be an amazing year. So I think that's it for today, folks. You've got all the links that you need. I'm sorry I don't have the Getting Clients cohort link quite yet, but next week we'll have that for sure. And if it's ready before next Friday, we'll of course send it out, post it in the group, etc. And what other questions do you have for me? I think we're done. We're wrapped up. Look at that. An hour and a half. That is almost a record. Because usually I talk so much. But that was good. So anyway, anything else? All right. Cannot wait for the Bookkeeping Accelerator. Hopefully you guys, Joel put the link in there, right, for the wait list. So the wait list is we're starting that. We've got, like 800 people on the wait list already. It's crazy. Oh, it was 888. That was the last number I checked. I haven't checked it this morning. That was... is there something like this for the cleanup course? Do you mean like a live stream walkthrough like what I'm doing today? Is that what you mean by like this? If that's, let me know. But if that's true, then where we can get Q&A on things we are stuck on. Yes. So once a month, Corey has a live Zoom call where you can participate. It's always a little bit different. This last week she had it. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. It was so cool. She did a live diagnostic review. She and everybody that showed up did a live diagnostic review where you got to look at an actual set of messy books. And an acquaintance of mine who owns a business agreed to open it up to our students. And so that was pretty amazing. And she also walks through exercises and she answers questions. So once a month, Corey does a live, and of course they're all recorded. But then the cleanup course has its own forum where you can post questions about going through the course or what is going on. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. I was 500 some Hunsa. I don't know what that means, but all right. Well, I think I have addressed all of the questions. I got to get back to work. And you guys have a fantastic day, a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic weekend. I can't wait to hear your success story. Bye-bye.